Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the anniversary HOH options and kind of discussing which ones are going to be good to farm, which ones aren't going to be good to farm. And if you aren't aware of, basically what happens is Com2uS releases a anniversary HOH, which you have one of every element monster to pick from. You can only choose one, and you can't go into multiple different dungeons. You can only use one monster, and all of the monsters have already been past HOHs, so it's like if you missed one, you can kind of catch up on it. But before we get into the video and discuss all the monsters and which ones you guys should pick and stay away from, if you don't know already, the first comment on each of my videos does get a gift card, so make sure you guys are clicking on the subscribe button and also clicking on the bell to get notifications, so that way you are notified when I go live with a new video, so that way you can win a gift card. So for the HOH prediction, it was actually very well mapped out on a Reddit post. I'll post the link for it in the description below, where you guys can see exactly like how it was determined of why these monsters are going to be the new HOH for the anniversary. Now, of course, this is just very, very good speculation, but of course Com2uS could potentially change things before we actually get the HOHs, but more than likely these will be the ones, almost 100% certain. So the options for the HOH are as follows. Alright, so it is the Light Pirate, the Dark Magic Knight, the Wind Mermaid, the Water Neostone Fighter, and the Fire Barbaric King. So let's start off with the Fire Barbaric King. It's this guy right here, Suitor, and you don't really see a whole lot of guides on this because it's really not a monster that people use often. Is it useful in certain situations? Yes, of course, but you could say that about every single monster. It's very niche. You can use it here, you can use it here, can't use it here, but is it our best option? No, by any means, no. Also, is there other monsters that you can use it for skill ups? Yeah, the water one, the wind one. The wind one people tend to use a lot in giants and stuff, but I think there's better options, so I would say this is probably one that you're going to want to stay away from. Even if you have a Mimer or a Hrungnir, then okay, you could probably use it for skill ups if you don't have all of the skills fully maxed out. Okay, that would be the only way that I would say farm the Barbaric King. If you don't have a Barbaric King, if you don't have one of the light ones, if you have the wind one but don't have the light ones, then I would say don't do it. Don't waste your time. There's other better options than the Fire Barbaric King. Now the second one is, I would say, just as, if not more pointless than the Barbaric King to stay away from as well, which is the Water Neostone Fighter. And for the Water Neostone Fighter himself, Ryan is not very useful. Again, you could say the same thing about everybody. They could be useful some places, but at the same time, are there better options? Yes, absolutely. And there's better free-to-play options at that. So for Ryan, the only reason why you would probably want to farm it is if you really wanted a Trevor maxed out. But at the same time, Trevor is very situational and not even that great of a monster, in my opinion. A bunch of people are probably going to get pissed off at that, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, he's not that great because, I mean, Garo is probably better. If you don't have a Garo, then you can use a number of different monsters to replace Trevor. Is he a good farmer? Maybe, but it's still not Ryan. So if you absolutely want to max out skill your Trevor, okay, Ryan could be an option, but I mean, the other ones aren't really, you know, not my opinion. Okay, you shouldn't farm this. The third one here is the Wind Mermaid. All right, now Wind Mermaid has a little bit more utility herself than the other two do in that specific element. So for the Wind Mermaid, we have Cichlid, which is right here. Alright, Cichlid. Now she has a couple good skills that are useful in Guild Wars. Attacks the enemy target 3 times to remove the beneficial effects with the first attack, decrease the defense for 2 turns, and increase the skill cooldown by 2 turns with a 50% chance each. Alright, also has the remove harmful effects on an ally and cast a shield, which is equivalent to 20% of your max HP, and then has this little burst mana that deals damage to the enemy and removes beneficial effect with a 50% chance. So it's always removing effects, right? Which is super useful, and I think out of all 3 of the normal element HOHs, if you were to farm one, Cichlid would be the one, because also her friends, her sisters, Beta and Molly, are also very, very useful, and she could be skill ups for a Molly or Beta if you are lucky enough to have one. So, not a bad choice. Not a bad choice for Ciclet, actually. But for the Dark Magic Knight, Lynette. Okay, that's the dark one that's gonna come out. It's the Magic Knight here, and she can be useful as skill ups for Iris, which is definitely her friend. A lot of people starting out have a Lapis, which is the starting monster and a lot of people's farming monster for quite some time. So if you are needing some skill ups for your Lapis, then Lynette might actually be a good option for you to get. She also herself is a pretty good option as well for farming dungeons. Attacks the target with a massive magic bullet, dealing damage according to the target's max HP. This attack also heals all allies for 30% of the damage dealt, which is pretty nice, not gonna lie. Magic Shot shoots 4 magic bullets that seek enemies with low HP ratio. The bullets have a 50% chance to decrease the target's defense for 2 turns each. And then this one attacks the target 2 times and attacks all enemies with even more powerful attack on the 3rd attack. Inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn with every 50% with a 50% chance. So this is actually probably my pick for you to actually farm. This is my main pick. The other pick, the last one, is Brig. I think his name's Brig. It's the light pirate captain. And Brig, he's very lackluster. Okay, all these monsters have been HOHs before, so a lot of people have already tried them out, including myself, and I just don't think it's really that useful. I haven't even 5-starred the one on this account because it just wasn't worth the resources. So the accuracy of ally monsters is increased by 40% in guild battles. Attacks the enemy. You guys, we can go over the skills, but really at the end of the day, it's not that useful compared to the other Lynette. Okay, it's not that useful. It's not really like a beast in PvE. It's not a beast in PvP. I would say if you already have Lynette and you need skill ups for a galleon, then sure, go with Brig. If you need skill ups for a frigate, absolutely go with Brig. It's really you know, easy way to get some devil mons for your other 2 pirate captains. But I would say in order of importance, this does depend on your specific account and what monsters you already have, what monsters you don't have, and what you need to fill the gaps. But I would say in general that the best monster to farm would be Lynette. Lynette would be the best, and then it would probably go Brig. So Lynette, Brig, Cichlid, and then the other 2, I would say Barbaric King, Suitor over Ryan. So it'd be those 5 in that order, and then just depending on what monsters you have, what monsters you want to have, what monsters you want to skill up, that's up to you to choose what you want to do. But that's my opinion. There are some other updates in the game. We'll just touch on those real quick. There's been a patch that came out saying that the new monsters got nerfed. Now they don't bring another monster with them, and there's been some conspiracy theories saying that, oh, they were planning on doing that all along, but they wanted to kind of bait the pay-to-win players to buy these monsters or spend a lot of money for scrolls, so that way they can get it back and you know, bait them into getting those monsters and then nerfing them out after everybody has some and spent a bunch of resources on them. And I can definitely see and agree with people how it seems like that. Whether or not that was their specific thought process for Comtois, you never know. I don't personally know. I'm not going to say one way or another that that's exactly what happened, but I really think that the way that the new monsters were supposed to play was that you're only supposed to be using 2 of them. You're not supposed to be using 3 and 4 and 5 to fight every single type of PvE dungeon out there. I think that was actually not the way that they originally had planned the monster to play. So there's that, and then there also came out with a couple things like the rates that we already knew, which were the summoning rates. Those are here for everybody to see now. Just click on the little bottom left corner. It says rate, and there is a little thing that shows you all the rates of the different monsters that you can summon and how bad they are and how lucky you are if you even get a nat 4. And then they also have it on the wish, the Temple of Wishes right here, and it shows you exactly how rare it is to, 1, get a monster from which is 0.5%. That's half of a percent, guys. And then on top of that, you can see how rare it is to get actually a 5-star monster from the Wish, and a 4-star and 3-star, 2-star, etc. So it's actually harder to get a 2-star monster from a Wish than it is to get a 5-star monster from a scroll. But I seem to have summoned multiple 2-stars. So that's I mean, I guess I can consider myself lucky. But for a default 5-star, it's 0.01%. 0.01% for every single time that you do a Wish. You have 0.01% to get a 5-star monster, which I, for some reason, thought it was much higher if you landed on the monster to get a 5-star monster, an LD 5-star monster, because I was like, okay, this is something that happens all the time. People get 5-star monsters, 5-star light dark monsters from this all the time, but apparently not the case. So I'm glad I never spent crystals on refreshing wishes. There's a few other things, but mainly those are the big ones and the ones I wanted to talk about. Aside from that, guys, that's about it for today's video. Tomorrow's video is going to be really fun. I summoned 34 LD scrolls for somebody, and the results of that were pretty amazing. Okay, we'll post that tomorrow. But aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. All right, peace.